So recently I started an interesting project which was to build this go-kart. But was it the best idea I had, or was it just another failed project that I had in mind? So when building my go-kart, I had a few things in mind of what I wanted the go-kart to look like and what I wanted it to do, a few functions for it to be a go-kart. One of them was to hold my weight. And as you can see, it does that pretty well. Another one was so that it can turn. It can turn only up to a specific level. Like that's the most it can go to the left and the most it can go to the right. That's because I don't have shocks. But once I put them, this car will turn really sweetly and really smoothly. Another thing was for it to move. It can do that, but it doesn't have a chain. That's because I did a bit of miscalculation when trying to buy the chain and the centrifugal clutch and stuff. And another thing is braking, which it can do, which it actually does really well. Only the one thing that's left is I need to bleed the brake so that it can work and function at its peak performance. And that is why you should plan ahead before building your go-kart. Like, just make sure you know all the sizes of all the things you're doing. Make sure you know all the measurements, all the sizes, the lengths, because even chains have different sizes, shocks have different sizes. You have to make sure the clutch fits the rear sprocket and the chain is the same size. All those three things have to be the same size. Your wheel hubs also have to be the same size as your shocks. I don't have shocks, but I will put them. Building a go-kart is obviously going to be expensive, but thanks to God, I managed to get a few people to help me here and there. One of the people who helped me was the owner of Superb Garage, Superb Autos in Kileleshwa, around those areas. They gave me these tires for absolutely no charge. So they gave me these 4 tires, which were from their quad bike. Unfortunately, I couldn't use them because I noticed the wheels were cracked and the wheel was damaged on the side, which leads to a greater risk when I'm driving. Another sponsor was Star Optics, which actually sponsored most of this video, including the tires, the engine, the braking system, steering system, even the steering rack, including the chair. The chair, they had an old chair lying around. They gave it to me at no charge. Also the wheels, they paid for the wheels. And by the way, go check them out. Not they are on social media, but go buy glasses from them. These are from them. They're really comfortable and they work really well for everything I need to use them for. Now let's dive into why I used some of these parts and also some of the challenges I went through with while building this go-kart. When looking for tires, I tried to aim for go-kart tires, but they were really expensive. And when I got those, they were cracked. So when I went for this, which was my only other choice, I went for these because they are light, they are not as expensive, they are much cheaper, almost a fifth of the price of a go-kart tires, and they are reliable, they are really strong, and they are just as light as these quad bike tires. And then I went for this engine. I wanted to get a motorbike engine because I thought those were extremely powerful, but buying a motorbike, even an old one, was costing way out of the budget I was given. So I bought this engine, which was only around 7,000 Kenya shillings, 7 or 8,000 Kenya shillings. And the reason I bought the 8 horsepower is because it is enough to take this go-kart at speeds of around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour on average. But with the ratios of the gears, and if I manage to do that correctly and get it all right, I could take this up to 130 kilometers per hour, which is a bit too fast. Well, this engine is also reliable, it's easy to fix, and it's extremely easy to work with. 100% the best choice if you are going to go and make a go-kart. Before I had clear knowledge about how this thing would work, I actually put a sprocket straight onto the engine, and that when I switched it on, the go-kart just went phew. Then I did a bit more research, consulted some mechanics, shout out to Imran Sokola at Precision Automotive. Then they gave me advice and I put this centrifugal clutch. This specific one is an 8 to 13 horsepower clutch, so even if I wanted to, I could increase I could change the engine for a more powerful one, which I don't plan on doing very soon, but maybe one day, you never know. And then this is a wrong size for this clutch, so I will be having some parts coming in really soon so that my clutch can fit with this, and also the chain will be the correct size. So so that everything runs smoothly and as expected. I also don't want to keep on changing stuff because as it is, as you know, with different sizes of chains with different sprockets, they will both eat each other up until they're all finished. And another mistake I did was buying a 1-inch bore clutch, a clutch with a 1-inch bore, while my engine was a 3/4 size bore. So make sure you also know what you are doing when you are ordering the sizes things again. So I had to get a machining done, and they managed to put for me a sleeve into the crankshaft, so this could fit in smugly. It worked pretty well, by the way. This is how the clutch helps the go-kart to idle. Look, I can hold this and it will stay perfectly still. You can see the teeth not moving. But once the accelerator is pressed, then it starts to move. Another good thing is it has a good horsepower to weight ratio. I mean, look, it's so light, I can just move it with my hands as easily as that. It's like cradling a baby. So easy to move. That means the engine should pull the go-kart really well. That is because the clutch is engaged at 2100 RPM, while when it's normal, it revs at around 1200 RPM. And now on to the braking system. We have this wire from a motorbike or bicycle, I can't remember, but it connects to the brake, which you can press down. The brake retracts because it has some springs over here, but this wire pulls on this hydraulic thing. So when it's pressed, when you press the pedal, this is pushed inside like that. So this is pushed inside, which compresses it pushes the brake fluid, which goes and makes this colored caliper. I painted it green because why not? And this grabs onto this, which is this brake disc, which is attached, not attached, to the axle, so that the whole go-kart stops. This is a 2-piston, so it's more reliable and it's actually stronger at stopping this entire go-kart. The accelerator works in the same way. You press this, which pulls on the wire, which pulls on the throttle on the engine. So when you press the accelerator, it goes vroom, vroom, vrrr, pa, 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 pa. And it moves and stops as simply as that. Initially, this go-kart was green and ivory, but you can agree with me, it looks much better in this black and gold. So for the steering system, it is pretty obvious. I didn't actually go or opt for a go-kart steering system because you can see these wheels with a go-kart steering system, they don't really match very well. So as you can see, there's these down here to act as the arms, and then there's a second-hand steering wheel which I bought from CBD. This second-hand steering rack from CBD. I'm not sure if it's from an Alto or a Paso, but it's from one of those, and it's actually makes turning really easy compared to a go-kart steering system. And even if you're going at higher speeds, this is less likely to fail. I mean, it is from a car. Cars are heavier, they move at greater speeds, so it should be less fail-proof than having a go-kart steering system. Look at how huge this thing is. You need to turn it to keep it in control, because otherwise you are dead meat. And then a problem that I faced was the shocks. I've mentioned these countless times, even to my relatives who have come to see this. They have asked me why it doesn't turn. That's because it doesn't have shocks. So I'll need to put some shocks over here, because this dummy shock, which is just a slice of metal or a few tubes of metal attached to this thing, which has holes in it. So when you turn, the metal flexes and it doesn't allow you to fully turn, which is why I am trying to get shocks, but my budget is a bit low right now, and I have spent the entire budget that I was given. So if any of you want to sponsor, like, please do. And then we have this we just put a metal rod connecting this to this, and there's this joint over here that connects the steering wheel. It is a Momo steering wheel that I bought from town, so it probably isn't an original product, but it does the job. It looks cool and it's functional. But another thing that I find really important to me is that my cat absolutely loves this go-kart. It sleeps in this chair all the time at night. It gets annoying because it does get furry, but I mean, it's a cat. It's cute, it's curious, and just the perfect pet. Better than dogs, and this one likes go-karts. cars, and anything that has four wheels. It's an interesting cat. That's how you know it's my cat. You can see how much she loves it. I wish she could have it. She would make the perfect driver. Look at her, ready for action. Maybe we should shorten the accelerator and brakes so she can reach it. Poor less than 1 foot cat. So the things to consider when building your go-kart are for it to turn, to move in a straight line, for it to be able to stop, which is one of the most important actually, for you to have good control over everything, for you to be comfortable, for it to be fail-proof, or at least to make it as safe as possible. As you can see, everything I've done here is to try to make it as safe as possible. So try building your go-kart with safety, with caution. Don't take too many shortcuts. This could be your life on the line. This chair was comfortable, that's why I took it. Then I didn't remove these because it acts as something to hug me and keep me in place. Then the steering wheel, there's this bar. I want to put a steering seat belt to make it even safer. Muzu doesn't need one. She won't be driving too fast. Also, I could increase the speed by removing the rev limiter, maybe take it for a few drifts. If you want to see a finished product, maybe you can come back later to the channel to see how it moves, how it drives, how it works with shocks. So when building your go-kart, always make sure to take everything into consideration, the sizes of everything, because you can see I made a mistake and ended up wasting a lot of money with the clutch and the drive terrain. I also ended up spending money with doing shortcuts on the tires, which could have cost me my life if I wasn't careful. So which is why we use the hubs. So don't take shortcuts. Don't keep too low of a budget, because you will need to buy parts. Like me, I had an extremely low budget, but thanks to Star Optics and Superb Motors, Mod Motors, they helped me to get through with this project, and it finally moves. Also, big shout out to Us Pride for giving so much advice and so much support to this project. In a few days, or in a few months, or maybe a few years, who knows, maybe this will be a piece of art, maybe in a museum, maybe, who knows. So I've also learned a few things, or maybe many things, while building this. A lot of engineering. I've learned lots of engineering, structural, mechanical, a lot of that stuff. Also, I learned how to deal with people, how to handle people, how to make people do things that you need them to do. My cat also loves this go-kart. You know, she really likes it. Biggest supporter, biggest fan of the channel is Muzu. So yes, it helps you learn a lot of things, but it also comes with lots of risk. Don't keep a low budget. Maybe try starting with something smaller first. Maybe like a small go-kart. Maybe you can go electric, but I don't want electric because gas is more fun. It makes noise, it has vibration, it has all the things someone could want. And yeah, it's nice. I like it. I like it. It's something I can show to my family. It's something I can use in my university degree. She's driving, guys. It's something also that I can tell my school friends, I did this, I made this, I learned this from doing this. It's a good thing. And always remember, follow your dreams, and maybe one day something may work out for you. And the good thing is, even if it doesn't move, even if it doesn't work, it's a work of art, and I can say, at least I tried. And Mozu has a reminder for you, right? Yes, she has a reminder for you. Like, share, and subscribe. Meow. Meow. Meow, meow. Say meow. Meow. She's not saying meow. Or maybe we can just use the go-kart for this. Hold the steering wheel, Muzu. We're going for a drive. She went.